even though if you think you only got like a jar of peanut butter to your name, make sure it goes somewhere. Don't let the government take your jar of peanut butter. So, real quick, we had an appointment today. Katie and I had an appointment today with a great person. This client, potential client, paid cash for a house, lives in a great neighborhood, and unfortunately the house was listed for 9 months, didn't get any traction. The offers that came in, of course, weren't the offers the person wanted. That's why they didn't sell it. And we looked at the photos of the house. They weren't really convincing. They weren't good photos, and it just wasn't presented well. But also at the same time, the price wasn't there. The seller wanted a little bit too high of a price, and so when we spoke to this potential client, we spent an hour. Now, when I do listing appointments, and I know when Katie does hers as well, you really want to be in and out of this appointment. But this one has I feel like in this market nowadays, I personally like to take time with people and sit down and address a lot of the questions they may have. This potential client was really, and this person, her house is again in Orange Park, Florida, great neighborhood, near a golf course, had everything. It had plenty of square footage, multiple bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, preserved view, had a lake nearby, so it was a great house. And when she asked, like, well, why didn't my house sell before? I trusted the realtor. Why didn't the house sell before? And we were just really honest, like, look, it's the price. He's like, well, the realtor wanted to bring the price down, and I didn't want to bring it down. So then you're like, well, that's pretty much the issue right there. It's pretty cut and dry. Really, in real estate, it's pretty cut and dry. If you're not priced right, and your house doesn't set itself apart from other people, then of course it's not going to sell. So when we were looking at her house and, talking with her, getting her story and everything like that, which by the way, her story was phenomenal. It's a really touching story about her and a family member. And it's one of those things that you listen to that story and you're like, man, that's just, it's a touching moment. 1 second, I gotta go put the garbage out real quick. Hold on 1 second while you're here, okay? So just stay put. I'll be right back. You won't even notice I'm gone. Put the garbage out. I'm the builder of the block, the whole town know me. Turn keys, flip keys, stack paper, holy. From Duval to the moon, my hustle universal. Haters throwing shade, but my grass. So, back to what I was saying. So as this client starts telling her story of her situation and what happened. So what happened is, several years back, I think like 10, 15 years ago, a family member had reached out to her and said, hey, I'm signing up for my 401k and all this other stuff, yada, yada, yada. And my 401, and I'm doing some stocks and all other, normal investing stuff. And the family member said, hey, but I need a beneficiary, so let me put you down. And the person's like, okay, she's like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Didn't think nothing of it. Well, unfortunately, this family member passed away, and because they had put her down as a beneficiary, she was able to, take claim to this family member's, assets. And that was really, it got me. I know, Katie was affected by it as well, because it's, just shows you that, you take care of, do the right thing for people. So just one of the things, you gotta do the right thing for people, and make sure you show up for them. And remind me, okay, I gotta make sure I take care of my kids, my family, make sure I have my affairs in order, because you just don't know when life's gonna, call for your time. And so this person was, that really got to me, like, oh man, you just meet people and you hear their good stories about a family member taking care of another family member, and you don't want to think about things, but adding a beneficiary to your accounts, so that it's something like, when we talk about doing probate and other things, like, if you don't have a will or something set up in place, and something unfortunate happens to you, you know, your loved ones or your family members, or even a friend, whoever you want to gift with what you've worked hard for, won't get it, or it'll be a struggle to get it because the bureaucracy in place and other people come and try to get the money first. You know, so it really hit me like, man, okay, gotta make sure I have beneficiaries set up. You know, I'm doing a lot of stuff. I got like six houses personally that I'm working on, and like, okay, you know, if something happens to you tomorrow, what are you gonna do, buddy? And I want to make sure I take care of my family, take care of anybody who's helped me out in life as well. Not like I'm a millionaire for sure. I'm not. Don't go there. I'm not a millionaire. But we gotta really think about setting up our beneficiaries for stuff. You know, when it comes to real estate, when it comes to your assets, because, you know, Father Time, the Lord Almighty, whoever you're, you know, looking at as far as the timekeeper of your life, it could come for you and call till you punch in that clock and say, hey, it's time for you to punch out. And when you have to punch out, please make sure you have things in order to help other people out that are important in your life. And that's what I learned today in my journey of real estate, was make sure I have things set in order and in place so that when my time comes, that the people I care about are taken care of. So that was my lesson for today. You know, that's what I learned today. And you know, it's ironic because I'm about to go to the gym, and my gym shirt today was my FAMU dad shirt, and I had that packed in my car before I did this meeting with the client. And so I'm like, okay, this means that, yeah, you gotta do stuff for your kids. You gotta take care of them. You know, my kids are great though. They're doing good. They're on their own missions, their own paths, and they're doing very well. But that's you know, that's all I want to share with you guys today. So, if anything, after all my rambling, please make sure you set up a beneficiary for your assets. Get a will. If you're married, you should be all right for the house. But if something happens to both of you, make sure there's a plan in place. If you got kids, make sure there's a plan in place. When your kids grow older, make sure just even though if you think you only got like a jar of peanut butter to your name, make sure it goes somewhere. You know, don't let the government take your jar of peanut butter. And then that's pretty much it. That's it for today. That was my big lesson today in real estate, was talking with this person and hearing her story and thinking, wow, you know, someone was able to bless someone else's life with their hard work. And after their unfortunate passing, they bless someone's life. And you see the results of how happy this person was. She was sad because she lost somebody, but at the same time, she was so grateful for what her family member did for her, that it set her on a path of being a giver. And we asked her, you know, she had all the stuff in the house, and we asked her, what are you gonna do with all this stuff? She said, I will find the people who need it the most and give it to them, because I'm gonna be a giver. And so you just see that pay it forward mentality, and it's a great thing. It's a great thing to see that, great thing to witness that, great thing to meet people who do that. So just, again, last thing I'll say for the millionth time, take care of your business. If you got a jar of peanut butter, if you got a boat, if you got $1 million mansion, make sure it goes to the right people. Make sure you have things in order for when we all someday leave this earth, and the next people that you care about will benefit from the hard work you put into it. Thanks so much for watching. So until next time, take it easy. Bye.
Haters throwing shade, but